So like with the competition coming up,
Yeah.
I asked him if he wanted to compete. He said no. I usually ask him.
Ask you because what's his kid's name?
Levi.
Levi, because you said on Tuesday Levi was competing.
Levi is competing. Levi and his sister Abby are competing.
Okay.
I usually ask every day the week before the deadline. I ask him because usually he's like, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. In this competition, I asked him. He was like, no, flat out. I said, okay. The next day, he was like, oh, I don't know, maybe. I said, all right, you have a few days. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I asked him the next day. He was like, no. I was like, why is it that you don't want to compete? Like, what? This is the first time that he's been solid no. Yeah. He was like, I don't like the way I feel before competition. I said, well, that's normal. I said, nerves are normal. I was like, Coach Drew gets nervous. You know, I said, Mommy and Daddy are even nervous and we're not even doing it. So like, he's like, I know, but it's really, really bad and it makes me feel weak. I said, okay. I said, I understand that that's what you feel, but in reality, you being nervous and still doing it is actually very strong. You being so nervous that you don't do it is what makes you weak, right? So it's like the kind of battle of like, I don't want to talk you into competing if you don't want to compete. And this is a really terrible reason for you to not want to compete, right? So I'm like, I'm not trying to talk him into it. And ultimately, we settled on him not doing it. His answer has remained no consistently. I'm not going to force him to do it. Yeah. But like, I get that. And like, what does it feel like to stand on that podium with gold medals around your neck? You know, like he only, of all the competitions, I think he's done 4 or 5 competitions. He's only left one without a medal. So it's like, how do I get that balance for you to like not be overly confident? Because there's days where it's like, slow down, you're not that good. But like that middle between like, you are also really good at what you do and like shouldn't let fear stop you from doing something you're good at and you love to do. It's like that balance of.
That's tough. Because I get it, right? Like, you're like, oh, this is a situation where this is a life lesson. Mm-hmm. So I don't care about the competition. It's more like a mindset thing, right? It's like, I want to make sure you're set up. How do you explain that, too? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
You get into nerves, too.
Literally. Everybody. I don't sleep, like, for, like, the week before competition.
I get it.
I don't sleep. I'm, like, fully, like, that second comp that he did, where he got his ass kicked, was possibly one of the worst days of my life.
I get it.
Like, up there, top 10 worst days I've ever experienced in my life. Like, having him lose match after match after match and him crying after every
you're like,
single
you gotta
match.
go. You gotta go, buddy. And you're like, damn.
And I mean, I am holding back tears because I'm so heartbroken. Yeah. And at the same time, I'm like, I'm not letting you quit on yourself.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to do this. You're not quitting.
Yeah.
And even after his last match, he was like, I want to go home. And I was like, your teammates are still out there. You're not leaving your team.
Yeah.
Like, you're not quitting on yourself. You're not quitting on your team. You dedicated yourself to this. You're doing it. Meanwhile, I'm like, I just want to go home and lay down, cover myself, and cry. Like, I was so like, my sister was like, I don't know how you're doing this. I would have like let him leave already. And I'm like, I can't. No. I cannot let him quit on himself. And like, he came back the next competition and he killed it. Yeah. And I don't know that he would have done that if we allowed him to quit on himself. But like, I to this day think about like how hard it was watching him literally like be demolished